Yesterday was a holiday, but much of the world and the U.S. government's attention is now fixed on Gaza once again and consumed by the very important question and investigation of are Israel's dozens of attacks on refugees in tents in Rafah, does that constitute a breach of international law? And more importantly, does it constitute a crossing of Biden's red line? You'll be surprised to find out the answer to both of those questions is no. But I'd like to. I'd like to start with a story that I think much of the American and international press is saying we could be on the verge of a big metaphor occurring, and that is, of course, the pier. The pier. This is a metaphor of international proportions. The U.S. aid pier constructed by the U.S. military to deliver aid to Gaza has sunk and floated away.
Is this like more embarrassing than the Houthis are about to get a load of democracy? They fucked around and found out. They messed with the Chuck Norris of country. I think the U.S. building Homer Simpson's barbecue pit in Gaza is like maybe more embarrassing. I don't know.
I don't know why they haven't already called it the Joe Biden Memorial Pier. I know he's not dead, but it seems like he's close enough that they could just name it after him. But yeah, it's quite a story.
Well, I mean, like obviously, people are taking the opportunity to dunk on Biden right now because of the sort of allegorical clarity that such an event provides. But I'll say, look. We couldn't get aid in. They wanted to get aid in. We couldn't get aid in, so they built a pier.
We just couldn't. We couldn't get aid in. Our client state that we supply with all its weapons wouldn't let us do it, so we just had no choice and no leverage, obviously, to get aid in overland, which would be the far more sensible option.
Look, did it work? No. While it was actually still floating, did it deliver any aid? Not as far as I can tell.
Not really. No. Yeah.
I mean, look. Several pallets of aid were possibly delivered in the course of the career of the pier. But I want to say, look, Biden truly is like FDR. If something doesn't work, just keep doing it. Just try something else. If the pier sinks, build another pier. If that pier sinks, build two piers. If those also float away, construct a catapult of some kind that can bypass the sea entirely.
We could put one of those kinetic delivery devices, like a satellite, in orbit and just kinetically deliver them on a tungsten rod, deliver the aid to Gaza, and take care of a lot of things that way, I think.
The aid that we dropped from our orbital platform was delivered, but also destroyed all of Gaza.
Also killed everybody.
In the process.
The entire Eastern Mediterranean has been wiped out.
When the aid landed and connected with the crust of the Earth, it caused a 9.0 magnitude earthquake.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing with that cardboard box filled with 35-year-old MREs? Sir, finishing this humanitarian aid mission.
It's a man. They had a dream to build a pier, and the pier sunk. But hopefully,
it's had better days.
Yeah,
a week ago.
Let's think back to the good times when the pier was still standing at a cost of $300 million. But yeah, it's not like there are roads that we could access to deliver this aid.
No, Gaza's famously cut off from land.
And what makes me sick about all this is how badly I know that the Biden administration really wanted to deliver that crucial humanitarian aid. It's killing them that they can't do it. I know it eats them up inside. But Pier 2 mission is a go, I hear. They're going to fix the pier.
Okay.
The pier's going to be back.
They're towing the pier, and my understanding is they're towing the damaged parts to Ashdod, the Israeli port nearby, and they're going to fix it and put it back in place. This is after, it was basically like an extended Three Stooges routine. Like there were 4 ships that ran aground, 1 ship ran aground, and then they tried to get that one off the coast, and another, the ship that tried to do that ran aground, and they just piled up on each other. And also there have been injuries. Like at least one U.S. soldier was seriously injured, I think, because apparently they couldn't figured out that building this pier out of like bubblegum wrappers and tinfoil in the Eastern Mediterranean during storm season, there was going to be some weather, and they just didn't anticipate that.
Isn't that like how everyone in the Navy always dies, though? Like even SEALs? Like once every 2 years, Navy SEALs will like actually die during combat because their helicopter crash. But like 98% of Navy deaths are like it was a training exercise, or they were sending a fleet to try and scare someone, and like 7 guys fell into the nuclear reactor that powers the aircraft carrier.
Or like there was that incident in the Red Sea just recently where 2 SEALs, I mean, one guy like slipped as he was getting on a boat that they were trying to interdict, and then another guy went after him and fell. They both fell in the water.
You're the water guys. You're the water guy. How are you like dying the second you get in water? That's not good. I feel like I could survive in the sea longer than that. Like like everyone in the Navy dies in the most ignominious ways. There are guys getting Purple Hearts because like a Dyson Airblade blew their hands off.
Well, Derek and Felix, this is the Mediterranean, and I'm hearing reports that the initial construction of the pier did not make the proper offerings to angry Poseidon, and they were thus not spared his wrath. But Pier 2, believe me, they're going to make the proper offerings, and that aid's just going to get in there. You won't believe how much aid we're getting in. Speaking of aid, I have noticed over the last week, Kirby and Matt Miller and all our favorite spokespeople, they have very slightly changed the metric for like what they say constitutes an aid delivery from like they say things like, just last week 360 metric tons of relief aid was delivered to Gaza, which is like I don't know, 6 trucks worth for 2.5 million people. Kirby was talking about shipping pallets the other day too, which is like fucking Costco gets more pallet deliveries than Gaza has.
I think that's to hype the pier, because you can't do truckloads. I mean, you can sort of do truckloads after it comes off the pier and ostensibly goes someplace else to be distributed, but who knows how much that. I mean, they're doing like 5 trucks a day, or there was one point where they did, I think, 15 trucks, and they all got intercepted by hungry people who just looted them, like ransacked them. So they're not really getting that either. So they have to do this like metric tons coming ashore to try and convince people that this has been worth it.